You know what's wild? Ida B. Wells wasn't just writing about racism, she was living it in real time. While white journalists were calling lynchings justice, she was calling them what they really were: public executions. And she didn't just report the truth, she weaponized it. Because Ida knew that a pen could do what a pistol couldn't: make the world watch. She was born enslaved in 1862 in Holly Springs, Mississippi. When freedom came, her parents built schools, raised her to read, and taught her that knowledge was its own kind of rebellion. Then yellow fever took them both when she was 16, and Ida raised her younger siblings herself, all while teaching school. By her 20s, she was already writing under the name Lola. And in 1884, almost 70 years before Rosa Parks, she got kicked off a train for refusing to give up her seat to a white man. She sued the railroad and won at first, but then she lost on appeal. But that moment changed her life. She realized that courts weren't designed for justice, so she picked up her weapon of choice: the written word. In 1892, three of her friends, successful black businessmen in Memphis, they were lynched after opening a grocery store that competed with a white one. And that broke something in her. So Ida investigated. She read coroner's reports, interviewed witnesses, and followed every rumor that white newspapers printed as fact. And what she found was worse than anyone wanted to believe. Most lynchings weren't about crimes. They were about control, punishing black successes, protecting white supremacy, and policing interracial fear. She published her findings in the Southern Horrors and the Red Record. And when white mobs burnt down her newspaper office and threatened her life, she didn't stop. She just started publishing from Chicago instead. They thought they could silence her with fear, but she made their crimes immortal. She faced hate from every side. White suffragists told her to wait her turn. Black men in leadership told her to calm down. Even reformers said her work was too angry. And she said, good. She stood at the 1893 World's Fair calling out the U.S. for pretending to be civilized while black people were being hung from trees. She helped found the NAACP, though her name was later erased from their records for being too radical. But the truth is that Ida B. Wells was the blueprint. Before the Panthers, before Malcolm, before anyone called it investigative journalism or intersectional feminism, she was doing it with a gun in her purse and evidence in her hand. Ida once said, the way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. And that's exactly what she did. Even when the truth made everyone else uncomfortable. They called her angry, they called her dangerous. But history calls her necessary. Because if Ida hadn't documented what America tried to bury, the blood in the soil would have stayed hidden. And that's why every time we speak truth to power, we're standing in her shadow. Say her name: Ida B. Wells.